In today's class, we will try to understand JavaScript variables. Okay, the variables. This is very important topic. Not only in JavaScript, even though in any language, whatever it may be, C, C++, Java, JavaScript, Python, Kotlin, R, Swift, Golang, any language. If you take any language, variables are very important. So in the previous class I explained that what are variables. Variables are nothing, they are the names kept for memory locations. Already we have studied the computer has a memory. Okay, memory means read only memory, random access memory, dynamic RAM, static RAM, like there's so many memories you might have studied. So every in computer, that memory 4 GB, 4 gigabytes, 8 nowadays 8 GB, 16 GB memory is there. 16 GB, 32 gigabytes, 32 GB, like that memory. So that memory, inside of that memory, so many memory locations are there. Okay, every memory location allotted with a number. Okay, every memory location allotted with a number. Okay, so that number, that memory location is named with a, labeled with a name. Okay, that names are called variables or identifiers. Okay, see example, suppose what happens, see here, one little bit of code I am going to write here. This is the Python. Okay, here, because in Python we can get the memory address. See, if x is a variable, you have assigned 76. X is a variable assigned with 76 integer value. Now you want to see that memory address where this 76 is stored. So inside of print function we use id function. Why I have taken Python? In Python it is very easy to get the memory location address. That's why I have taken. In Java very difficult, but in C also we can get the memory address. Okay, see here what happened. This is the memory location. Try to see how many memory locations are here. This is somewhat 53 crores 323, sorry, 53,323 crores 68 lakhs 51,368, 53,323 crores 68 lakhs 51,368. This much of memory locations are there. So if I want to store the data in any one memory location, suppose assume that 1000, but this 76, calling this 76 data by a referring of memory address like print, by mentioning the memory address like this, is very difficult. If you run this you will get error. This 1000 can't assign to literal. Okay, 1000 is a literal, means values. Literal means if it is a string value, string literal, float value, float literals. So 1000 is a literal value, that is a number value, integer literal. So it is very difficult to mention the memory locations. Out of this how many memory locations are there? How many memory locations are there? After 1000, 1001, 1002, you assume like that memory location. But here in terms of crores, okay, 52,542 crores, 42 lakhs 18,700. This is the memory location. So keeping data in memory location, it is not my headache, it is translator headache. Here interpreter, Python, in terms of Python interpreter, in terms of here who will read the code, whatever we write? Browser. Okay, browser will read the code. So many browsers are there. So keeping in memory locations by referring of memory address, very difficult. Understood that? So rather than we assign a variable, means a name. Variable means a name, your name, my name, XYZ, any name. So if you assign a data to that variable, so at the time of compilation, this translator program, it will interlink this variable to a memory location. It links this variable. Suppose here see x is equal to 5 in JavaScript. So whenever at the time of compilation, whenever you press run, whenever you click on run, so this x is linked with a memory location. Okay, and whenever you call that variable, it knows that this x is linked with which memory location, and from there it fetches the data. Okay, that's it. Okay, simply try to, so that we can simply say that variables are containers. Containers means what? To store the data. Okay, so variables are, they will hold the data. Containers means they will store the data, and that variables are linked with a memory location. Whenever we know that variable names XYZ, so whenever we call the variables XYZ, so it knows that who knows that the translator program in terms of Python, it is interpreter. For C, C++, Java, C#, it is compiler. Here browser. Okay, okay. So if we want to know that whether JavaScript is compiler based or interpreter based, JavaScript is interpreter based programming language. So mostly you know that JavaScript will be used for website, web page designing. So the code will be read by the interpreter inside of the browser. Okay, JavaScript is a interpreted based programming language, not compiled. So it will be executed in real time by an interpreter. Real time means what? You know, I will explain that. That interpreter is located inside of web browser. So like your Chrome's V8 engine, Google Chrome's V8 engine, or Firefox's SpiderMonkey engine. So JavaScript code is read and executed line by line. So interpreter, what it does, it checks the line by line. Okay, it checks line by line, but compiler checks all the lines at a time, and if there is no any error, it compiles the code to machine language. Okay, under the compilation. Interpreter, what it does, it checks line by line. If error found at first line, it will not go ahead unless you will not clear it, debug it. So here your JavaScript is interpreted based programming language. It is a real time. The code is executed in real time by interpreter. Means that is interpreter is within the web browser. What do you mean of this? So JavaScript code is read and executed line by line. So code will be read, and if there is no any error, that line is executed on the line by line. That is called real time. Generally what happen in interpreter, general Python interpreter, line by line will be checked. Like that, all the total lines will be checked. Then if there is no any error, it will be converted into machine language under the compilation process. If there is an error, it will indicate that error. So for your consideration, so that you need to you need to debug the code. After the debugging, compilation, whenever you click on run, the compilation will be done. Within the compilation, the code will be converted into machine language. Then execution process starts. This machine language will be sent to microprocessor reads that and gives the result, so that we can understand. So here every line will be checked and executed in real time. Okay, that is the point, you need to note that. So it is an interpreter based programming language, JavaScript, not compiler based. That interpreter is located in your web browser. So that is called some engines they are called for my Google Chrome, that is what Google Chrome's V8 engine, Firefox Spider Monkey engine. Okay, but nowadays modern JavaScript engines use techniques like JIT, just in time. Modern browsers, however, modern JavaScript engines uses techniques that JavaScript engines which are inside of your browsers, latest browsers, so many are there now. Microsoft Edge is there, Microsoft Copilot. Okay, so this somewhat in these JavaScript engines, latest techniques are used, just in time JIT compilation, that is called. Within that, some parts of the code may be compiled to machine code. Compiled means, I told you that compilation is what? Some code compile, under the compilation total line of code will be checked at a glance and converted into machine code. Compilation is that all the lines will be checked at a glance, then compiled means converted into machine code, that is called compilation. So nowadays so many JavaScript, latest modern JavaScript engines they are being used with the just in time JIT compilation. Under the JIT compilation, what happens, some part of the code that will be compiled to machine code for performance optimization during execution. So leave it there. This process is done dynamically, combining the benefits of both interpretation. So under this process, what happened, dynamically means automatically combining both the benefits of compilation and interpretation. So simply we can say that JavaScript is primarily an interpreted language, but JIT compilation is often used for optimization in modern browsers. So now come to the point what we are discussing, that so variables are containers, and they are the names kept for memory location to store the data. So in JavaScript, the data can be stored, variables can be created in 4 ways. Variables can be declared. Creation means declaration. Okay, in JavaScript, variables can be created, otherwise declaration, in 4 ways. One is automatically, second one is by keywords, by using var keyword, using let keyword, using constant. So let us try to understand at what time, when these keywords will be used. So suppose x, y and z, 3 variables are declared, means created. Declared means created. So if we have not used any keywords like var, let, constant, then we can simply say that they are the undeclared variables. Means these x, y, z automatically declared. Okay, so if we will not use any keywords, so they are undeclared variables automatically, means they are not being declared by programmer, they are undeclared variables, so automatically they will be declared. Okay, x, y, z, these are undeclared variables. X is assigned with 5 value, y is assigned with 6, z is equal to x plus y. Now see, let us see what happened. So this is the JavaScript. Already I told you that JavaScript code that must be written inside of your script. From the starting, that is the doc type declaration, HTML declaration for HTML5, then HTML, that is HTML body, HTML start tag. So all of this is HTML code. But where can we find the JavaScript code? Within the script tag, script start tag and end tag. So x is equal to 5 within the script tag, from x is equal to 5 to until the script ending, just above that the value of z is a string is kept in double quotation marks plus z. Up to this 4 lines, 1 2 3 4 5 lines of code that is written inside of script. So always JavaScript code will be written inside of the script. So here x is a variable, x y z are undeclared variables. They are declared automatically, okay, without any var, constant and let keywords. So within this, what happened, try to see here. Now two variables are created, that they are assigned with values 5 6, and z is one more variable created for some addition of x plus y. Now I want to see the addition value of z. So now this code inside of script, many times I told you that one JavaScript HTML method is there, that is compulsory we need to use to find the HTML content. Here content is what HTML content. Okay, then document is what your HTML document dot get element by ID. This is a method of JavaScript HTML method. By this we can find HTML element, and by ID is what it is a attribute. By that attribute we will find the HTML element. So ID just above the script, in paragraph section, in between paragraph start tag and paragraph end tag. So that's paragraph is P is an element, HTML element. So within this element ID is an attribute. That attribute is assigned a string demo. Okay, now this ID assigned with demo. So this get element by ID, it is a JavaScript HTML method which will find HTML element. Our element is inside a paragraph element, that is ID is equal to demo. So ID demo, you can change this, it is your choice, whatever you want to write here. If you change this Vasu, there is no any problem. ID can be anything. Okay, so whenever you have changed Vasu, so here you need to call that ID attribute. ID for ID is an attribute. For that attribute value assigned Vasu. Now dot inner HTML. Dot inner HTML, it will be used to find the HTML content. That is the difference between, try to understand, HTML content, HTML element, both are different. HTML element, here P is an paragraph element. Content is what? Z. Content is what? Z is equal to x plus y. That is the content. Element is what? Paragraph element P. So that element will be identified with ID attribute assigned with Vasu. Now whenever I pass Vasu in this method will find that element with ID, and then that inner HTML is a property that will be assigned inner HTML is a property that is used to find the HTML content. Content is what? Z. Z means addition of x plus y. So we can keep a string just before z, the value of z is 11. So we can write any string here. The addition of we can simply write the addition, sum of the addition, the addition of x plus y, the addition of x plus y. We can like this, we can write. So whenever you run this code, the addition of x plus y, sum of x plus y, as whatever you write, this is a string, okay, simply it is a string kept. This is a string. Already I told you that string in JavaScript, string will be kept inside of double quotation marks, okay. Plus what? A string plus z is what? Z is a variable which is holding x plus y, sum of two x plus y, two variables x plus y. Both this total code is written inside of script. So here try to understand one element, one method, JavaScript HTML method, that is called get element by id. That element by id method it is a JavaScript HTML method used to find HTML element. Content and element both are different. Content is what? X is equal to 5. It is a content. 5 x variable holding 5 content. Z is equal to x plus y. This is the content. Z is holding x plus y. Okay. So inner HTML method used to know the HTML content. Okay, here I think in the previous class I have briefed all the things. So let us go there. I will explain that. Where is that? This HTML get element method, I think in the starting. In the starting here. See. So one of many JavaScript HTML methods is get element by id method. This is one of the JavaScript HTML method. So many methods are there. One out of them, one is very important, get element by id. What it does? So this method finds HTML element with id. Okay. This method finds an HTML element with id, by id. It will find the HTML element only by id. Understand? The id is equal to demo. You can keep demo somewhat, whatever. This id that is to be declared outside of the script. Okay, not inside. And changes the element content. So that element, whatever the element every element has some content. That content will be changed. The content will be changed to whatever you decide. Okay, that element content will be changed. Otherwise, it will be identified by inner HTML. See, document.get element by id. So id is demo. That id is declared outside of the script. Dot inner HTML. Now this inner HTML, it is having hello JavaScript, and that can be changed to otherwise changed. Here see what happened. See, where is our script? Inside of the script, na? Okay, here this is total code is this total code is HTML code. Here there is no any script, JavaScript. So we will go wherever the JavaScript is there. Wherever the JavaScript is there. Here it is also total HTML code. Here see, in paragraph element, in P element, inside of P element. Okay, see, this is P element with start tag. Every element in HTML, every element has two tags, start tag, end tag. Inside of whatever, that is content. Here content is what, like whatever, that is what content is. JavaScript can change HTML. This is the content. But that element will be identified by this id attribute. Okay, that is what come here. So okay, now come here. Where is the variables? Okay, variables, they can be assigned in 4 ways, as I told, automatically by var let constant x, y and z. If we declare the variables without any keywords, they are called undeclared variables, means they are declared dynamically and automatically. So but as a good programmer, it is best practice to declare the variables with keywords. Okay, it is considered good programming practice to always declare variables before use. So that is better, good practice. So declaring of variables, declaring means creating of variables is good practice. Okay, so x is equal to 5 means x is a variable, it stores 5. As I told you that x is variable assigned to a memory location. Okay, that is very important. Y stores value 6, z stores value 11. Understood that? Okay, now come to the point. See here. So as I told you that, so every memory location is labeled with a name. That names are called variables, also called identifiers. So I told you that in Python we can get the memory address by id function, but in JavaScript we can't find the memory address. In C also we can get the memory address in C. In Java we can't get the memory address of any variable directly. So because of there is in Java abstraction layer is there. Abstraction means one security level. Okay, some in abstraction what happened, some key points, key functions, okay, whatever the key concepts will be secured. So user, whatever the user needs, that will be shown to user. Okay, in abstraction. So in JavaScript also we can't directly access the memory locations of the variables. Okay, that is the thing. So like in Python, can we know memory address in JS? JS means JavaScript. In JavaScript, unlike in Python, you can't directly access or view memory addresses of variables. In Python, by one function is there, id function. Just I have shown, I think here, this is the id function I have used in Python to get the memory location of x variable. In that variable 76 value is stored. So whenever I run this, this is the memory location. So in Python it is done, but in JavaScript and Java also abstraction is there. So abstraction already we have studied in Java. Abstraction means what, as I told you that abstraction means only the user required information will be shown. Rest of the key information which is related with very management, okay, function level, that will not be shown to user level. Okay, that information will be, that is called abstraction. Okay, so in JavaScript, unlike in Python, you can't directly access the memory location or view memory locations, memory addresses. So every variable is linked with the memory address. As I told you that whenever you assign a value, that will be stored in that memory location. Whenever we call the variable, so it knows that this variable is linked with which memory address. From there it will fetch the data. So JavaScript abstracts memory management. This abstraction already I have briefed that abstraction, as I told you, that only memory user required information will be shown to user. Rest of the functional main core functional information will not. That is called abstraction. So JavaScript also follow the abstracts memory management. So there is no built-in way to retrieve the memory address of an object or a variable. But like in Java, however, we can work with reference. Okay, so in Java also reference operators, I think, will be used. Reference operator to objects. Reference operators, what you know, in Java, heap memory, stack memory is there. Whatever the objects we will create, they will be stored in heap memory, and that object's reference will be stored in stack memory. Okay, so however we can work with references to objects in JavaScript, which is conceptually similar to working with memory addresses in lower level languages. For example, if you assign one object to another, so one object is assigned to another object, both variables point to the same object in memory. So both variables point to the same object in memory. This is called reference. Okay, but you won't see the actual memory address, but the reference will be used here, but not memory address, only the reference. So this is the JavaScript code. One object one created with let keyword, that is equal to name alias. Okay, now one more object 2. Okay, object 2. Here one object assigned to another object. So object 2 is assigned with object 1. Object 1 created. Within that object 1, one name. That name is what? Alias. Okay. This is what. Now what happened? Both object 1 and object 2 reference the same object. Both object 1 and object 2. Both refer the same object. Okay, because object 2 equal to object 1. Here the JavaScript doesn't expose the actual memory location. So JavaScript will not reveal the memory address. But in Python, ID gives the memory address. I told you that ID function will be used in Python to get the memory address of an object. So JavaScript doesn't have an equivalent function. Not only in JavaScript, even though in Java also there is no any such type of any we can do to get the memory address of any object, otherwise variable directly. Here only the reference will be used. We can work with reference to objects, which is conceptually means similar to work with memory addresses in lower level language. If we assign one object to another, now one object assigned to another object, so both variables point to the same object in memory. Both variables point to the, and here reference is used. So but we can't see the actual memory address. So whether you understood or not, whatever I'm briefing. So one more time I'm briefing that let keyword used. I told you that let keyword will be used to declare a variable. Okay, let var constant. Three keywords we can use to declare a variable. Here obj1, obj2 variables are created with the let keyword. Now this first variable obj1 is equal to assigned with a name. That name is alias. The name is what? Now try to understand. Generally what happen, name alias. So like what it is like kept in flower braces, but it is a key value pair. Generally like dictionary, what you know, one dictionary, what in Python dictionary contains what? Dictionary contains one key and value, both are paired, separated with a colon, like that. So dictionary will be declared inside of flower braces. Set is also declared in flower brace in Python, but set doesn't have key value pairs. So now it is one type of Python structure, like one name, key and value always. So this is assigned to a variable obj1. Now this obj1, one more variable created obj2 with let keyword. So now this obj2 assigned with obj1. Now these two variables refer the same object. See, but both, if you assign one object to another, one object is assigned with variable, means one type of object. Okay, don't confuse like what you know. Okay, so obj variable assigned with, so if you assign one object to another, every variable, every value, they are objects. So obj1 assigned with what? obj2. Now these both variables refer, point means refer same object in memory. Both refer same object in memory, but memory address will not be revealed. That is the important point. You need to understand that. Okay, come to the point now. So come here, JavaScript. So these are undeclared variables. Now, so try to understand. Where keyword, it is used in all JavaScript code from 1995 to 2015. Where keyword, so used in all JavaScript code from 1995 to 2015. The let and constant keywords were added. Initially where keyword used to declare variables. Then after 2015, let and constant keywords are added. Next, where keyword should only be used in code written for older browsers. So initially where was used with the browsers, so it is the old version of variables declaration. So whenever you are working with older browsers, that moment declare the variables with where keyword. Okay, if you are working with the latest advanced browsers, so use let and constant keywords. Okay, that is the simple thing to understand. So now see, now here let x is equal to 5. So let is the advanced latest variable which will be used for advanced browsers like your Microsoft Copilot and Edge. Edge. Microsoft Copilot and Edge. Google Edge. Okay, now come to the point. So here this is the code written inside of the scripts. Okay, code is written inside of the script. Okay, now come here, variables. Okay, come to the point, next word. So now when variable keyword let will be used whenever constant will. Let us try to understand that. So I told you that let will be used for advanced browsers and where will be used for old browsers. Constant, what is the meaning of constant? Let us try to understand. Constant x is equal to 5, x, y, z, both three triple variables created. Before that const keyword used. Same here, x, y, z variables created, let keyword used. Declaration of the variables. Now price 1 is equal to 5, price 2 6. So here const for the total let used. So why? Let's try to understand. The two variables price 1 and price 2 are declared with the constant keyword. Here the value of any variable, you want to fix it. Whenever you want to keep the value of any variable fixed, so constant keyword used, means that value can't be changed. There are constant values and cannot be changed. That is what whenever sometimes that values of any variables, they can't be changed, that moment we will use the keyword const. Whenever we keep constant means constant keyword in just before of price 1, just before of variables, means that variables values can't be changed. Okay, and the variable total is declared, okay, with let keyword. The value total can be changed, means whenever we use let, means so whenever we declare any variable with let, means that its value can be changed. Okay, you try to understand the difference. What is the difference between variables declared with constant and let? Where keyword will be used with to create variables whenever we are working with older browsers. When to use where and when to use let and constant. First of all, it is a good, as I told you, that declaring of variables is a good practice for yourself. Okay, undeclaring, that is not good. Okay, so whenever you are working with any programming language, declaring of variables is a good practice. So always declare variables. Always use const if the value shouldn't be changed. If you feel that if any variable's value it shouldn't be changed, use const. Always use const if the type shouldn't be changed. So shouldn't type, what you mean? Type means arrays and objects. Arrays and objects. So you feel that arrays and objects type wouldn't be changed, use constant keyword. Only use let key if you can't use constant. Whenever there is no any constant, if you whenever you can't use constant keyword, so that moment let means what, you know, that that variable value can be changed. So where means whenever you are working with older browsers. So in algebra, what happened? Try to understand. So variables hold values. In algebra, every variables hold values. In algebra, what happened? This type of x, y, z, they are called algebraic values. They will algebraic values. They will hold somewhat values like x, y, z. They are unknown values. They are called unknown numbers. X is equal to 5. So x value can be anytime changed. Okay, x, y, let I have used y. This x, y in algebra, this type of x, y we can use up to z. Okay, so in algebra, what happens? Variables are used in expressions. Expressions, here you must understand that what is expression and equation. That is very important. Difference between expression and equation. If is equal to is there and left hand side, right hand side is there, that is equation. But expression never has a is equal to expression. Now here try to understand. Let z is equal to x plus y. Here, so that x plus y, here x plus y is called an expression. That expression is assigned to z. Z is a variable. X plus y is a expression. Okay. Now variables are containers for storing. Already we have studied that variables are holding. They will store the values. So identifiers, already I have briefed that what are identifiers. All the variable names, the names used for variables, objects, methods, functions, they are called identifiers. All the names in JavaScript, variables must be identified with unique names. These unique names are called identifiers. The names used for variables, they are called identifiers. So that here whatever we have used, z, x, y, these are called identifiers. Price 1, price 2, these are variables. Variable names are used for variables. These are called identifier. X, y, z, price 1, price 2. They are the names used for variables. That's why they are called identifiers. So the variables must be identified with some names, unique names. These names are called identifiers. Identifiers can be short names like x and y, xz, xy. Short names, descriptive names. Sometimes you use short names like what x, y, z. Sometimes descriptive like age, school. These are called descriptive names. Total value. So somewhat rules are there for constructing names for variables in JavaScript. Okay, some rules are there constructing names for variables. What are that? Names can contain letters, digits, underscores and dollar signs. Names can contain letters A to Z letters, small case or capital, digits 0 to 9, underscores and dollar signs. Names must begin with a letter. Name must begin with a letter. Okay, don't direct use underscore, otherwise some special characters just before the variable. First, every variable must start with a letter. Names can also begin with dollar, but names can also begin with dollar. Okay, dollar sign can be used and underscore also, but here in this tutorial it is being not used. Dollar can be used just before of any letter. Names are case sensitive. Y and capital Y are different value. If you declare a variable y, small y, and capital Y, both are different, case sensitive. JavaScript. Reserved keywords, they are called keywords, like JavaScript keywords. So cannot be used as names. So that reserved keywords, like your keywords, like let is a keyword, where is a keyword, const, they can't be used to create variable names. Okay, so next, JavaScript identifiers are case sensitive. Identifiers are case sensitive. Identifiers are what? The names kept for variables. If you declare capital A is equal to 5, small a is equal to 10, both are different, both are case sensitive. Assignment operator is equal to here in JavaScript. Equal sign is what? It is an assignment operator. It is not an equal to operator. So it is an assignment operator. Okay, it calculates the value of x plus y, let us, and puts the result into x. The value of x is incremented by 5. The equal to operator is written like, so try to understand, assignment operator is not equal to operator. This is like 2 is equal, that is called equal to operator. So in JavaScript, equal to operator is written like this, 2 equal to in JavaScript. But assignment operator, only one single is equal to, like this, one single. Okay. So here in JavaScript, assignment operator, equal sign is an assignment operator, not an equal to. Equal to in JavaScript, equal to means what? 2 is equal will be used. So this is different from algebra. And the following doesn't make sense in algebra. So x is equal to x plus 5. The following doesn't make sense in algebra. So x is equal to x plus 5. X will be incremented by 5. So in JavaScript, it makes perfect sense. It assigns the value of x plus 5 to x. So x is incremented with 5 and assigned to x. In JavaScript, there is a meaning. It makes sense in JavaScript. So x is equal to x plus 5 means x is incremented with 5 and assigned to x. So it calculates the value of x plus 5 and that value is assigned result into x. Understood that the value of x is now incremented by 5. So this is called so in algebra, x is equal to x plus 5, there is no any sense they are feeling that, but in JavaScript there is a sense, there is a meaning for x is equal to x plus 5. X value is incremented with 5 and it is assigned to x. There is a sense. It will be considered in JavaScript. Okay. The equal to operator is written like this. I have briefed JavaScript data types. So in JavaScript data types, we have studied that JavaScript variables. So variables, as we have discussed that variables, it will hold numbers, otherwise string type of data. So variables in JavaScript, variables whichever hold numbers like 100 integers and somewhat float numbers. JavaScript can also store text values like John Doe. Text values, we have studied text. What are text values? They are the strings. They are the string values. So string value always kept in double quotation marks in JavaScript. But numbers, JavaScript variables also hold numbers like 100, 100.5. Okay, all negative and positive integers and floats, negative and positive floats. Float value, float means I told you that the number which is having decimal values. In programming, text values are called what? Strings, called text strings. JavaScript can handle many types of data, but just think of numbers. And so JavaScript stores handle many types of data. Here we will discuss only numbers and strings. So strings are written inside double or single quotes, like in Python. In Python also we can store the strings inside of text. String means English text, word, sentence, paragraph, whatever. So they can be stored in single quotation or double quotation marks, like in Python. Numbers are written without any quotes. Okay, if you put a number inside of a quote, it will be considered as a string, a text string. So constant used here, pi. Always the pi has the constant value 3.14. This pi value never be changed, so that const const will be used. Pi always 22/7, that is 3.14. Let here person, this variable let I have. So this John Doe can be changed at any time, but 3.14, this value can't be changed once I declared constant. So whenever you want to change, you will get error. Let person John Doe. So let is a keyword used for this person variable, so that I can change this string as somewhat. Let us see. And one more variable created, answer. This answer, person, pi, they are called the identifiers, because I told you that identifiers are the names kept for variables. Okay, now let us see this answer variable. So let keyword kept just before of that, because this s it is a string, can be changed at any moment. So now let us see what happened here. Come here inside of the script. So it is declared with pi declared with 3. If I want to change this value to any, okay, now what happened? Try to, whenever you see this code, okay, now run this, what happens? See, so you are getting whatever you have gotten. So same whatever you have written, it is 3.177. so 7.177. so now what happened? You are getting 7.177. there is no any meaning of this, because once it is declared at constant, so this constant variable, the constant keyword will be used just before of any variable, constant keyword. So means that value not to be changed. That moment if I want to change that value, I should get a error, but I am not getting here. What happened here? Let us see. So that is being printed, but so there is no any meaning of once it is declared with constant. So there is no any meaning of constant let. So let use it here. If obviously if you it can be changed to anyone, there is no any problem. Okay. So whenever you run this, you are getting what? John. You are getting John. Okay, John. But if I change this to const, constant. So now let us see what happen if I want to change this one. I'm getting John, but if I want to change this, whether it will allow to change the value, whether it will allow Vasu I have written. Vasu I am getting. So there is no any meaning, because as we have studied, constant keyword will be used to whenever I feel that this variable value will not be changed, that moment I will use. But it is practically it is not being done here. Let us see in future wherever we go there. Okay, so as I told you that under the script, okay, inside of the script. So this is one pi variable created, and it is declared with constant keyword. So as I told you that get element by id method used before that one id to be created. Id is equal demo. This is, it can be changed anyone. Now this get element by id method used to find out that HTML element by id attribute assigned with demo. You can change this, and inner HTML property used to find the content. Content is what here? Inner HTML is assigned with pi plus. Pi is what? A variable that is assigned with value plus br plus person. Person is a variable plus br here. It will be used to get some space here. To get some space, pi 3.14 and br for next line. Okay, otherwise some space, otherwise next line, then person John Doe plus next whatever. Yes, I am here. Plus answer is a variable which is holding yes, I am. So plus br, that is what? Br element. Always br element will be used with empty, for empty purpose. Okay, and some next line also, for next, to get the next line also. Okay, so br element used to get the next line. So pi is having 3.14, next line plus person having John Doe whatever, plus next line answer yes, I am. So this total code written inside of your JavaScript, 2 scripts. Understand that? Now declaring a JavaScript, what? Creating variable in JavaScript is called declaring a variable. Creating a variable, I told you that declaring a variable, that is called creating a variable in JavaScript. So you declare a JavaScript value with the where or the let keyword. This where keyword used where car name or let car name. After the declaration, the variable has no value, but here variables are declared with where and let keywords, but value, no any value assigned. So this is called generally technically undefined variables. Technically it is called, because this variable has no value, so technically this is called undefined variables. To assign a value to the variable, use the equal. That moment we need to use a equal sign to assign a value to that variable. If we have not assigned any values to that variable, they are called undeclared variable, undefined variable. Okay, defined, we have not defined. This car name is the variable assigned with Volvo, so it is defined variable. Okay, it is a string value. You can also assign a value to the variable when you declare it. So when at the time of declaration you can assign the value. So we have declared we have created a variable car name and assigned a string value Volvo. So whenever we want to get output the value inside an HTML paragraph with ID demo, so whenever we want to get this car name variable value Volvo as an output, so normally what we do, so inside an HTML with ID demo, so like this we do what, that ID demo, that because we will use get element by ID method. This ID is an attribute. This method uses this attribute, ID attribute, to find the HTML element. Okay, dot inner HTML car name. So whatever the car name, so inner HTML property will be used to know the content of that HTML element. So your HTML element demo that is having content car name is equal to holding Volvo. So we will get the value Volvo, create a variable, assign a value to display it. This is called, okay, simply don't confuse yourself. So whenever you want to understand JavaScript, if you directly want to understand JavaScript, it is little bit difficult for you. Before understanding JavaScript, first of all you have somewhat idea over HTML, initial how to write the code in HTML, how to declare the HTML document. Initially that is what your exclamation mark inside of smaller than and greater than symbol, then doc type capital HTML. This is the declaration of HTML document 5, and we need to start with HTML start tag, then body tag. Finally we need to close with the body end tag, HTML close tag. Inside of this is what H1 is the paragraph, sorry, header section, header element. P is the paragraph element. Okay, inside of whatever the paragraph element, what this is the content, HTML content. So you must have somewhat idea while you are writing JavaScript code inside of scripts, you have just somewhat idea over HTML. Directly if you want to come into that write code in JavaScript, so you will feel somewhat difficult. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to understand actually what is happening here. Okay, so come down here, let us come to that. Okay, it is a good programming practice to declare all variables. Already I have briefed. One statement, many variables. Okay, in only one statement we can declare many variables, like in Python already we have done. You can declare many variables in one statement, many variables, x comma y comma z. Okay, you can declare many variables in one statement. Statement is one instruction. Start the statement with let and separate the variables by comma. So statement started with let person John Doe. Okay, many variables in one statement. So person is equal to John Doe, comma, car name, one statement. Many variables, person is a variable, car name is a variable, price is one let keyword used here. So this is called one statement. So we can declare many variables in one statement. Okay, start the statement with let and separate all the variables by commas. Person is a variable assigned with a John Doe string and comma. Car name is a variable assigned with Volvo string. Price is a variable assigned with 200. This total is called one statement. So if you see this code in JavaScript, within the script, let person John Doe car name, this. So now how can we get this content John Doe 200 Volvo? This is the content. So by get element by a method, get element by ID, and by ID, this get element by ID method will find the HTML content with the ID attribute. ID attribute is assigned with a value demo, so that demo is passed here as an argument. Okay, dot inner HTML inner HTML assigned with car name. So inner HTML used to know the content of car name holding what? Value. So we will get value. Okay, if you change this value as somewhat, if you change this value with Tata, there is no any, you will get Tata. So whenever you run this code, you will get Tata here. Tata. Okay, if you change this value, if you want to change this variables, you can change. There is no any problem. You can change this as num. But at this num, if you change this as num, so you inside of this you are using num as a variable that is assigned with 200. So at that time, if you want to use car name, if you want to use num, you will get num value, that variable. Okay, run this code 200. Okay, because whatever the variables you declare, so that whenever you are calling that variable inside of dot inner HTML property, so that value will be printed. We will get output of that variable. So this is over. Now let us see value and is equal to undefined. So we will study in later section. Okay, lengthy class I have conducted, we will discuss later. Okay, now